Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Michael Miller.
Good morning, everybody. How about that song to get things going? Yeah, that's what I thought too. So that song, there's something special about that song I want to share with you. We reached out to our community and we did a SUSECON music parody song contest leading up to the event. And we got so much great stuff back. You know, the community members actually wrote songs, parody songs, picked a song and wrote the lyrics. And there were so many fantastic ones that we couldn't pick just one winner. So we picked two of them. And the song that we just saw, It's SUSE I Love, was our runner-up winner for that contest. And it comes from a community member in Wooster, Ohio, senior systems admin at College of Wooster, Roger Dillis. Let's give him some applause. Now, I know you're going to want to see, the next one. So you make sure you're here tomorrow morning. We're going to show you the contest-winning video right here, same time tomorrow morning. All right. Now, I hope all of you had a good night last night. I hope you had a great day yesterday. I went around and saw a lot of the activities. It looked like everybody was really soaking up a lot of knowledge. And then in the evening, I think they were soaking up a lot of other stuff also at the party. And so our video crew decided they would try to help capture all of that. We thought it'd be fun to play that back for you this morning. So let's roll this quick wrap-up of day one.
Damn, it feels good to be country. Chewing on a grapevine, sipping on moonshine, hanging out in back of the shed. Me and my baby feeling kinda lazy, crawl up in the back of the truck bed. The night rolls in and the stars roll out and the fireflies dance in the trees. Got all I need, man, damn, it feels good to be country. Country folk like homegrown smoke and a drinking from a jar. And all we need is a pickup truck, you can keep your fancy car. And you might think we're crazy, hey, but that's alright by me. We got wheeling on, we're singing all night long, damn, it feels good to be country. Country folk like homegrown smoke and a drinking from a jar. And all we need is a pickup truck, you can keep your fancy car. And you might think we're crazy, hey, but that's alright by me. We got wheeling on, we're singing all night long, damn, it feels good to be easy like Sunday, living life my way, taking things nice and slow. We got wheeling on, we're singing all night long, damn, it feels good to be country. We got wheeling on, we're singing all night long, damn, it feels good to be country.
All right. So I think we all had a great day one. We're in store for a fantastic day two. And to get on with that, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Thomas Di Giacomo, our President of Engineering, Product, and Innovation. Come on out, Dr. T. Hey, Thomas.
Morning, Michael.
I think I saw you somewhere in that video.
Yeah, I was trying to hide from it, but...
So, Thomas, yesterday in the main tent keynote here, we had some great conversations with Nils about a whole bunch of technology topics at a pretty high level, right, of where the industry is going and Nils' vision for SUSE. And we followed that with a talk from James Staten, who talked about the changing roles of IT. And I think you're going to take us deeper into all those topics. And I thought it might be interesting to chat a little bit about that, because that concept, changing role of IT and having IT becoming more strategic and even more impactful on business than ever before is really a topic you're very close to.
And it's changing the role of the people as well inside the IT teams, right? So, I mean, a few years ago, we used to have one job, whether we were part of the infrastructure team as a storage expert in charge of the backup. It was well defined. We were not supposed to touch the network and just focus on the storage as a storage expert.
Right.
Or a sysadmin playing with servers and installing applications on OS. So it was clearly defined, a bit siloed, you might think as well. It's still a little bit the case today, but things are changing. And we will see a lot more combination and mix of different skills and expertise coming together in a single role. moving forward.
And I think that all those different facets in the way in which IT is changing makes it more and more interesting for people that are in the IT industry. It also creates new demands and challenges from vendors like SUSE to provide the technologies that they need. So what if, I know a lot of people here in the audience are IT professionals. What if we talk about some of those specific areas and roles, like let's say operations, for example. What does this mean for people that are in an operations role?
So operations changed a lot as well in the past. I mean, if you think about virtualization, before that, you were in charge of servers and switches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With an entire virtualized environment, then the scope of your role changed because you had to manage all of that. Now it's even more the case with containers, and actually your business is expecting you to run your private data center as a cloud. So you need to provide self-service features to the other part of the organization, sometimes third parties as well, interacting with your private clouds. You need to make sure that you plan for capacity as well, because as an IT operation professional, you're in charge of budgeting, managing all of that. Sometimes you need to bill as well other teams in the organization.
Show back and charge back and all that kind of stuff.
With money or with whatever you want to trade inside your company. And so it's creating a lot of new challenges. And actually, we've got a good product to help with that. Today at SUSECON, we are soon releasing SUSE Cloud, SUSE OpenStack Cloud version 9.
That's right.
Which brings the code base of the HPE OpenStack and SUSE OpenStack together, the latest OpenStack upstream release called Rocky, including things for bare metal as well. And we really improved on the lifecycle manager of that product, so that's to make your life easy for day 0, day 1, day 2, day 2000 as well. So also the updates and all of that. Now, OpenStack is one way to help you with private data centers and with infrastructure. We also have a great SUSE Container as a Service platform product. There are a lot of sessions here at SUSECON where you could get some good feeling about what it does. Based on Kubernetes, it's a Kubernetes certified distribution. And recently as well, we became a certified Kubernetes service provider.
Yeah.
Because the product is one thing, but we need also to work together to install that, to make sure that based on your setup and what you're trying to do, you use such kind of technologies at best for your needs.
Yeah, to really tailor it to your needs.
Yeah. One last thing that has changed for our operation as well is that it's not only about private cloud, right? So you've got workloads and data in public clouds, and as the IT expert, you're also supposed to manage all of that. Different clouds, different ways, different visibility as well in the infrastructure. And yes, public cloud vendors, they help you. You don't have to deal with the upgrades. But still, you want to know where your things are running, where they are stored and backed up. So there's also things to be done there.
So really a hybrid cloud operations scenario is becoming quite common. OK, and so when you started talking about Kubernetes, of course, I started thinking about developers, right? So developers becoming more and more important as part of IT, this emerging methodology and concept of DevOps, where those things start to come together, makes being a developer and an IT developer more and more interesting, I think, over time. And you can see, the way SUSE engages with developers is changing as well. In fact, even here at SUSECON, there's changes to what we do to more directly engage and engage more deeply with developers.
I mean, we have the dev zone, we have a dev track. There's a lot of things that we can bring on top of Linux, but also with containers. A lot of tools, processes, and you should really check them out. I mean, the dev zone is great. As a French guy, dev zone sounds a bit like deaf zone to me, but that's good for developers. And if we lose a couple of developers on the way, that's not a big deal.
Right. All right, so.
I went off script a little bit.
Okay. I'm like,
so,
not sure what to do with that.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. Let me keep going. So containers are good for developers, but that's not enough. So, I mean, if you're a developer, you just want to focus on your code, you want to deal with container infrastructure. And today, the life of developers can be quite easy if you use some of the new technologies, like we have SUSE Cloud Application Platform based on Cloud Foundry, for instance, and we are releasing version 1.4. So it comes with a great management platform for IT operators as well, where they can see the status of Kubernetes together with the status of the Cloud Foundry applications. And then we have all the great benefits of Cloud Foundry for the developers themselves. They don't have to deal with where the infrastructure is going to be. They just push their code and it should run magically. And they don't even have to
deal with... I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
And I find this particular point really exciting because a year ago, you and I were at SUSECON, the last SUSECON, talking about this convergence of Kubernetes and container orchestration with Cloud Foundry and microservices. And our vision was to bring those two things together to have the power of both in a really unified, converged way. And we're here now. We are here to achieve that vision.
So because we do two main things. So we containerize Cloud Foundry, and then we're able to deploy Cloud Foundry services on top of any Kubernetes.
Yeah.
SUSE CaaS platform, obviously,
or
but also
else's.
public cloud Kubernetes. So if you're running workloads in Azure or AWS or Google, and you use their Kubernetes services, you can just throw a little bit of SUSE Cloud Foundry containers in there and bring the developer experience on top of the CaaS infrastructure. The other thing that we've done with the new version of SUSE Cloud Application Platform is to remove the legacy container scheduler of Cloud Foundry because it was not Kubernetes.
Right.
It would have been way too simple.
Right.
So there was another one that's working with partners that are actually in the room. IBM, SAP are very strong partners of us in the Cloud Foundry Foundation as well. We removed the legacy container scheduler from Cloud Foundry and integrated Kubernetes.
So it's really native Kubernetes.
Native Kubernetes. Now. It cannot be more native than that.
Yeah. That's great. Okay, so we've talked about operations, we've talked about developers. We can't forget the business people.
No.
Right? So maybe we talk a little bit about the business of IT and business processes and how those are affected by all this technology.
Yeah, they're the ones paying our salaries, right?
True. So at the end of the day.
Let's not forget them. And they should not be, actually, they should focus on business outcome.
Yeah.
What's the business value that they can do, creating differentiation, reducing costs, new markets, new features, being faster to market. They shouldn't care about the technology.
Right.
So it's our role as IT professionals, whether we are a developer, a sysadmin, or an engineer, it's our role to make sure that we hide the technology from the business people. We just show them what they can do and how they can benefit from it.
Yeah, the outcomes. And if they do know about the technology, that usually means something didn't go well.
Yeah.
You know.
Then they have opinions.
But, very true. Okay, now, yesterday, Nils and I talked a little bit about, or actually quite a bit about hybrid cloud and then also multi-cloud, and how quite often when you start talking about hybrid cloud, you naturally evolve into a discussion of multi-cloud. And I know that you're gonna take us deeper into that as we promised yesterday. So I'm going to leave you to that.
Thank you, Michael.
I'm going to hand you that.
See you later. Thank you. All right. So we have a few minutes together, and we cannot cover the entire history of computing, but I will take a few steps back to get to where we are today and where this is all going. But before we jump in there, I feel that I need to do a little bit of education on a very specific topic, a non-technical topic. In my role at SUSE, I'm in the lucky position to travel and meet with a lot of customers, partners, analysts, press, open source communities, really all over the world. It's great. I'm getting a lot of knowledge and learnings from that. One of them is that it's clear that in some places, pronouncing the name of our company, SUSE, is not that easy. It's done very differently from very different people. So at SUSE, we are customer obsessed. We do take very seriously feedback and input from our partners and customers, including this one. So we decided to act on that and try to clarify it once and for all. Let's play the video, please.
Good morning, my eager young pupils. Today we're going to be learning about non-phonetic words. What are non-phonetic words, you ask? I'll tell you. Some words are funny creatures, not spelled like how they sound. Like bologna, Colonel Wednesday, sometimes they can confound. The next word can be tricky, most people get it wrong. But I'll teach you how to say it by the end of this song. It's SUSE, say SUSE, don't let the name confuse ya. It starts with Sue and ends with sa, now doesn't that amuse ya? It's SUSE, say SUSE, the spelling might elude ya. It's S and U, then S and E, now open up your eyes and see. Now, SUSE is a company, a worldwide one to boot, with solutions for your software needs. Now, isn't that a hoot? Ha ha! We realize that it's tricky, but ask you don't misuse. Most people mispronounce it. They try to call it SUSE, but it's SUSE. Yes, SUSE. Now say it with me, SUSE. It starts like Sue, that girl you knew, who took your heart, tore it in two, and then she left you feeling blue. You're all alone. No one loves you. No. I digress. It's SUSE, say SUSE, I have an Appaloosa. I know that isn't pertinent, but not much rhymes with SUSE. Oh, SUSE, say SUSE, my lovely little SUSE. I'm going green, know what I mean. I hope by now that you have seen it's not as tricky as it seems. We just prefer you say SUSE. How do you say it?
SUSE?
From the top. SUSE!
I hope it helps you. But I want to check, right? So don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to sing the Say SUSE song, but I'm going to ask you to say SUSE properly, right? At 3. 1, 2, 3. SUSE. Great, great, great. We might need to play the video one more time for some people, but let's do it one last time. Louder, please, so that we feel we're in Nashville as well. 1, 2, 3. SUSE. You're doing great, much better than the kids. So staying with kids, when SUSE started in 1992, this is how we played video games. All alone, except for people with friends nearby or with brothers and sisters. But that's definitely something that we had to do at home with our computers, the video game consoles sitting together with us in the house. All of the power and storage available for running and storing video games came from our own little private gaming data center. That's also how enterprise IT was mostly organized at the time, with applications and data being hosted and used on-premise. All of the power of the compute and storage available to an enterprise had to be purchased and maintained pretty much on-site, hence with local facilities and local teams to manage private data centers. Then, significant technology and commercial improvements happened in centralized computing and storage, as well as in wide area networking, to achieve lower latency and higher throughputs than ever before. Thanks to that, after some first pilots, this made online gaming really took off in the late 90s, early 2000s. Think about massive multiplayer games like World of Warcraft, for instance. It was a huge leap in the gaming evolution, with many people playing together from many different places at many different times. Being an online multiplayer platform became a must-have for highly successful games. That breakthrough in broadband connectivity and centralized computing, coupled with new on-demand pricing models, also made possible the use of public clouds for enterprise IT. Now, unlike players willing to share with each other, companies have not been looking at public clouds for the same reasons. It was not about sharing with other companies. Applications and data started to move to public clouds to facilitate and offload the purchasing and the management of some of the IT infrastructure, and then to benefit from public cloud services as well. It reduced CapEx investments and shifted some of the costs to usage-based OpEx. So this should be game over for private compute and storage, right? Like it should have been the end of offline gaming when online gaming started, as predicted on the quote that you can read up there. It was done by a key player in the industry at the time, and we didn't put the name of the person because I think it's better if he or she remains anonymous, actually. Because what's happening is that online has not removed the needs and the market for offline gaming. What's happening is that most of the best sellers, most of the best games of the past few months got there thanks to their single-player solo experience. And yes, there are a few online-only games in the list, but actually most of them both have a solo and a multiplayer mode, because there are different cases to be covered. You want to play solo to train yourself before you can compete online against other players. Or you want to benefit from a strong, solid story with your gaming experience, where online elements would bring additional dynamism to it. Online gaming didn't remove offline gaming from the picture, simply because there are different use cases to be covered. And that's exactly the case for IT. Public cloud is not replacing the specific needs for more localized compute and storage. They are complementary and to be used at the right time for the right task under a given context. This is why edge computing is emerging, for instance. That's also why hyperscalers are proposing some of their cloud services on-premise as well now. Now, it's also worth noting that you will likely benefit from using many different public clouds to solve your needs at best. Like game players are using the PlayStation, the PC, and Xbox networks because they find different things in there. They're also expecting to be able to play across different platforms. Enterprise IT should expect to have data and workloads portability and flexibility across also different multiple clouds. Because depending on the type of your applications and their architecture, depending on the type of your data and its use, and also depending on you, your teams and skills, your processes, your culture, the business and the regulations you operate in, compute, storage, and networking infrastructure will run best either on one or more public clouds, on private clouds, and actually most likely on a combination of all of that. How close it should happen and how close it should be from the user, from the source or from the destination of the data, does vary. It's already the case today, and it will only become more and more the case in the future with increased needs for security, for compliance, for low latency, and for also large and big data and local high-performance computing that you will need on the edge, for instance. At the same time, centralizing and abstracting some more of your IT inside public clouds. It's also obviously always a good thing not to rely on a single supplier, not to be completely dependent, to avoid being locked in, to benefit from best of breed and fit for purpose, and aim at interoperability. This is to avoid limiting your options and decreasing your risks on overall uptime and stability, on current and future costs, as well as on current and future technologies that you might want to add on the way to your toolsets. That's all the reasons why you need to have a hybrid and multi-cloud approach that can evolve over time with your needs. Now, while such an infrastructure strategy is definitely key and provides the basics required to keep your IT running and your business growing, what's even more visible to your customers and users are your applications and data. Software, applications, and data are critical to your business. There's always more data to collect, more data to analyze, and to efficiently use to improve your business value. There's always more applications and features to be developed quickly, to be deployed to your users to meet their evolving needs. Luckily, application delivery and management went through the same modernization journey that games and infrastructure did, and it keeps moving at a faster and faster pace. From DevOps to continuous integration and continuous delivery, or even better, progressive delivery, together with loosely coupled software architecture like microservices or tools and technologies like containers, they are all enabling you and your business to be more cloud native, enabling you to be better focused on the business outcome and providing you with more agility, flexibility, and scalability than ever before. To close the loop, the portability of containers is also facilitating your hybrid and multi-cloud strategy, a strategy that you should have for the infrastructure, but also for the apps and for the data. Now, there's one topic that we cannot avoid today in the IT industry dialogue, and even less when we talk about video games, actually. I'm pretty sure you guessed what it is: machine learning and AI. So artificial intelligence has been used for games since decades to help define how virtual environments are reacting, how non-playable characters are behaving in those worlds and based on what you're doing there. Humans obviously compete against each other, but we also compete against AI in those playgrounds. We still have an edge in some cases because it's still complicated for machines to learn the same way we do as humans. Because as human beings, we learn about the world around us by looking at role models and partially mimicking them. A machine learns by looking at specific results from known data sets and try to predict new results from new pieces of data. As human beings, we do a lot more than that. We read, we watch, we listen sometimes, we talk sometimes too much, we smell, we have feelings, we have gut feelings. A machine may be smart, even in new situations, but it is neutral. It does not feel pain, it does not feel joy, and it doesn't come with a built-in survival instinct to let it know what to do if the building is on fire. Anyway, whatever we think about the current and machine and deep learning technologies, or more generally about AI and its future, we are concretely seeing benefits already today for our business, for your business, and there's even more to come. AI is used to facilitate automations, to improve your systems by automatic decisions and updates, or how best you can handle your customer requests. It enables quicker results for simulation and research in healthcare, for instance, and it helps you better understand your users' and customers' behavior and how best to adapt to them. As many other new technologies, the current AI and machine learning capabilities are made possible at a larger scale today than ever before, thanks to recent innovation in high-performance computing, in specific software, specific hardware, coupled with hybrid and multi-cloud application and data management. And I would argue that all of that is based on open source technologies. Now, let me share a great example of how hybrid multi-cloud IT and cloud-native software are being used by one of our very innovative customers in France. The name is Blade. Unfortunately, they couldn't join us today at SUSECON, but I was talking with them last week, and they've shown me some of their latest, very impressive technology. They have a modern cloud-native game streaming solution called Shadow. That's the little box that you see on the top there. They are using the power of cloud for game, compute, and storage. Nothing is done locally. And then they are using the power of network to bring any types of games to any type of devices that we all have, from mobile phones to tablets, connected TV, and laptops. And they have an edge gaming device in the middle to manage all of that. That's how disruptive you can be in your industry, leveraging the current infrastructure and application technology based on open source. Now, staying with our video game analogy and looking at this shift to hybrid and multi-cloud strategies, the way I'm seeing it is that we, the IT community, the IT ops, DevOps, even the developers, we are the game players. We are the ones who understand the game, and we will be critical for pushing the action into the next dimension of engagement. We heard this yesterday from James Staten, and we are seeing it happen. The role of IT is evolving. We are playing a much more exciting game than ever before, one that moves our focus away from plumbing and maintenance required to keep the IT running to more creative and strategic elements, working with partners and service providers that we trust to optimize and accelerate our business impact. Our role now is less about today and more about tomorrow. We are leaders defining, shaping, and using the innovations that will differentiate our organization and make them better, make them smarter.